Hello, friends, and welcome back to Movies, Munchies, and Moscato. I am Rhonda.
And I am Rochelle.
And we are just a couple of friends who love movies, television, and wine. So if that is something that interests you, please stick around and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And now it's time for movie news, reviews, and pulp culture discussion. Antoine Fuqua will direct a new Cat on a Hot Tin Roof movie. This is going to be a remake based off the 2008 Stay revival with an all-African-American cast.
Oh, cool.
So this should be cool. Antoine Fuqua, he's best known for directing Training Day with Denzel Washington.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So, yeah, this will be...
a great show.
Right? This will be less... Well, maybe not. I was going to say less dramatic, but never mind. No. That show isn't less dramatic, so never mind. It's going to be great, though, I'm sure.
That's true.
Rosalind Sanchez is going to star in a Fantasy Island reboot on Fox Network. So she is going to be playing Elena Rourke, who is a direct descendant of Mr. Rourke from the original series. Now, Rosalind Sanchez, she was from one of my favorite shows, Devious Maids. So I really enjoy her. So I think this will be interesting. I was really young when the first Fantasy Island was on. I just remember watching it and not quite understanding what was going on.
The plane.
Right? But I did enjoy that part when I would see reruns. And then I did end up seeing the movie remake, I guess it was 2 years ago or so, that made it like a horror movie. Didn't like it. Didn't like that at all.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was like it was like Fantasy Nightmare Island.
Oh my gosh, that sounds terrible.
So, yeah, it wasn't that great. So, I don't know. I'll give this a chance. I do like her, and so if they kind of stick to the original format, it should be okay. Captain America 4 is officially in the works. It's going to have the showrunner of Falcon and the Winter Soldier from Disney Plus at the helm. So
I still need to see that.
Yeah, it's a good series. You should check it out.
The Falcon and the Snowman?
Sure, it's so close. So close.
Winter
the Snowman
Soldier.
is something that happens in winter, so I see, yeah.
Falcon and the... Wasn't there a show called that with, like, what's his face?
The Falcon...
Kilmer. Falcon and the...
There was a movie just called The Snowman, but Val Kilmer wasn't in it.
Was he a falcon? Okay, so there is no Falcon and the Snowman. And,
No. There was that show called, remember Jake and the Fat Man back in the day? That's similar. Yeah.
Run, fat boy, run. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Did you ever see that movie?
No, I didn't. No.
That was actually pretty good, too. All these, like, similar kind of titles,
I don't
but
even know
yeah.
where that's all even coming from, to be honest.
Good times. Alexander Skarsgård, he most recently was in the Stand remake, but he has joined Succession in season 3 in the role of a confrontational tech founder and CEO.
Ooh.
Again, love this actor. Liked him since True Blood. So I do need to still watch Succession, though. I've never seen any of it.
I know. I started watching Succession, and I did like it. I just didn't finish it, which is...
Right?
Woo!
Right? So it's on my list. There's always something else that takes, precedence, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And finally, Viggo Mortensen and Kristen Stewart are set to star in a movie called Crimes of the Future. This will be directed by David Cronenberg, and it's about humans altering their biological makeup.
Wow.
So David Cronenberg, he's done all those other futuristic shows like, oh my gosh, do you remember... Now I'm like drawing a blank. I should have made myself a note about what else he's done. He does all these he does a lot of like futuristic type of shows like this. So this
Really?
Yeah, so it makes sense. So
Okay.
yeah. Although I wonder if the two will be like playing like love interest because Viggo Mortensen, he was in all the Lord of the Rings movies, and then Kristen Stewart, she's quite a bit younger than him.
The Green Playbook, no.
Oh, the Green Book, yes.
The Green Book.
Yes.
Playbook. The Green Book, yes.
Yes, that's
was
true.
So good in that. That was so good.
That's true. So, yeah, this will probably be interesting to see. We'll have to see what happens with that. Movies and TV shows out this week. We're going to go, actually, for the last 2 weeks since, we weren't on the air last week. So, first up is Handmaid's Tale. Season 4 started on Hulu with Elizabeth Moss last week. So, I myself am going to hold out for a bit since it is a weekly release because I just want to binge it. That's just one of those shows I prefer to have. I know they released 3 episodes at first, but I'll wait till there's like 6, and then I'll go ahead and.
Did they release 3?
They did.
Oh.
They released the first 3.
I don't know if I can hold it out. I do want to watch it, but like you, I would love to binge watch it.
Right. So I'll try and hold out till 6 before I start.
And then how many more seasons do you think?
Well, I know it was renewed through season 5, but past that, nothing's been said. So I kind of hope, honestly, 5 is the last. I don't like dragging it out too long.
Yeah, and this is 5, right?
This is 4.
Sorry,
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
one more.
So I'm hoping that 5 would be the end, honestly, because,
Yeah.
let's just not drag it and make it, like, worse than it needs to be.
Right,
You know what I mean? So
exactly.
hopefully. On Amazon, we have the movie Without Remorse. This stars Michael B. Jordan, and it's based on the Tom Clancy novel.
The Tam Clancy novel?
Oh, the Tom Clancy novel.
Like his wife.
Right. So he is seeking justice for the murder of his pregnant wife, and he's playing a Navy SEAL who uncovers a plot that threatens to engulf the United States and Russia in an all-out war.
Oh, wow.
So the trailer on this looked good. I have heard some early reviews, and it hasn't been as nice about the movie, although they've praised his performance. So I guess we'll have to see. I guess most of the gripes have been that for some reason they didn't really follow the book plot at all. So they're like, why
right,
even call it
Yeah.
that? But so I'll probably still check it out. But it's just that's just what I've heard so far. On Apple TV, there's a new series called The Mosquito Coast that started last week. It stars Justin Theroux and Melissa George. And it's about a radical idealist who uproots his family for Mexico after they suddenly find themselves on the run from the U.S. government.
Now, wasn't there another show called Mosquito Coast?
There was a movie, I believe, yeah.
And this is going to be...
This is just a TV
The
show,
TV,
nothing to
Apple
do
TV.
nothing to do with that movie,
Right.
totally different series. So, and it's really shrouded in mystery, so I don't know. The trailer doesn't give much of it away, which I guess is a good thing, so I'm not really sure what to make of it. I have to check it out and see. It's also a weekly release, though, just like Your Servant was, so...
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Which
know.
reminds
Have to
me,
see.
I still have to finish that one.
Also, we have this week we have Here Today. It's going to be movie theaters with Billy Crystal and Tiffany Haddish. So it's about a veteran comedy writer, Charlie, meeting up with a New York street singer, Emma, and they form an unlikely yet hilarious and touching friendship that kicks the generation gap aside and redefines the meaning of love and trust.
Oh.
So Billy Crystal, I haven't seen him in so long.
know.
And I actually do like Tiffany Haddish. I think they actually probably play off each other very well, since he's like a low maintenance like comedy, and she's more high maintenance comedy in
Right.
terms of, so I can see it meshing well, like a good
Now
like
remind me,
offset.
Tiffany Haddish.
So Tiffany Haddish, she started out with Girls Trip,
Oh.
and then she was in Night Teacher with
That's right. Yep.
Kevin Hart.
Yep.
So yes, so it's good times. And then also releasing this week, we have the Wrath of Man movie in theaters. This stars Jason Statham, and it's about a man by the name of H who works at a cash truck company that is responsible for moving a lot of money around Los Angeles. It soon becomes clear to his co-workers he isn't what he appears to be. So I think I've said this before when we talked about it originally. Yes, I am all for anything Jason Statham saw, and the movie looks good.
And so this is only in
Theaters, yes,
Okay.
it is only in theaters. So yes, I will go see that.
Yay.
So also out this week on Netflix, we have the series Jupiter's Legacy. This stars Josh Duhamel, Leslie Bibb, and Matt Lanter, and they are all superheroes, and it's about their superpowered children struggling to live up to their legendary feat of their parents.
Oh.
So I did watch the trailer on this, and I was like, oh, it looks interesting. I'm a Josh Duhamel fan ever since he was on the TV series Las Vegas, like a decade ago. And of course he's the ex-husband of Fergie.
Yes, this is true.
So, but I do like his acting, so I may check this out. And obviously I like superhero stuff, as we know, so
Yes.
I'll check it out on Netflix. And then lastly, Selena the Series Part 2 is releasing this week. And as I've said before, I watched the first half. So, of course, I'll watch Part 2. I'm only dreading it because we all know how the story ends.
Yeah.
And then, so this is just finishing up the last half of her legacy in life. And so, yeah, but got to see it through. So I will.
Yes. And I haven't watched it at all, but it is definitely a series based
Yeah.
on what you've said that I would really like to watch.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah. I've watched all the crime murder shows about it. I should probably watch maybe a biography about it.
That's a good idea. So speaking of what we've been watching, so this week and last week, I have watched the movie Thunder Force on Netflix. Now, this had Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer in it. So I enjoyed the first half, not so much the second half for me. So it's like I said, it started out good, and then the jokes kind of got weaker and weaker as it went on.
So would you say kind of what I was concerned about? The funniest parts were in the trailer.
Yes.
Oh, it's one of those.
It's a fair assumption. I'd unfortunately, only have to give it like 2.5 wine corks because it just wasn't the best thing. So, I can't really recommend it, unless you just want some mindless something on in the background, I guess, to see. That's just.
Because it did look super funny.
So, and those two are so cute together. Like I said, first half good, just second half, not so much.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I also watched the series Shadow and Bone on Netflix. Now this I loved. Like the first episode, it took me a minute. It was introducing everybody, all the characters. But by the second episode, I was thoroughly drawn in. I was invested in what was happening. I know the show is based on a series of books, in which I have never read, so I didn't have any backstory on what the show is even going to be about. It's crazy though now looking at like when you look through your social media, like Twitter and stuff for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Seeing people talk about it and like comparing to the books and how awesome it is, and that they really followed the books well, and that they were happy that it incorporated like 2 different books into one show. So yes, I really enjoyed this show on Netflix. I am a Ben Barnes fan. He was playing General Kerrigan. I watched him in the Punisher series, and that's where I'd first seen him, and I really enjoyed him on that. But I definitely would recommend this. This was a 4 wine cork show for me.
Oh, nice.
So definitely watch that. And I have to say, it was funny. I started watching the first 3 episodes with 2 of my girlfriends, and like when it came to part 2, episode 2 when it started. And like, I'll just say Elena and General Kerrigan, they're talking, and my friend Liz was just like, why does she keep trying to back away from the hot guy who's trying to help her? And I was like, good question, Liz. It's like, we don't know for sure like what's going on there.
Are we talking about the one were their friends? Their best friends?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's Mal. No, General Kerrigan. He's someone who's like, what are you, and like what's the deal with you, how were you able to like help us, type of thing. So
gotcha.
Anyway, and he had, at this point, I'll just say he had just helped her out of a sticky situation, and so, but she was like not, she was being a little confrontational, and it was just funny. She was just like, why does she keep backing away from that? It's like, she's not thinking about that, Liz. She's thinking about the fact she's trying to fight for survival here. She's bugged.
I would be all over him.
Right? It was cute. It was funny.
Awesome.
And lastly, I watched Promising Young Woman. I ended up just renting this for the $6 for video on demand. I really wanted to see it after hearing so much about it. And then, it won Best Adapted Screenplay at the Oscars. So this has Carey Mulligan in it. She was playing a medical student dropout. And she just goes around to these bars and clubs just acting like she is drunk, just to see how men like react to her. So as the trailer would have shown you, I mean, she does this, and then she pops up and is like, what are you doing, whenever they go to like cop a feel or whatever you want to say. And they're like, what, you're not, so she's doing this. During the course of the movie, things come to light about a friend of hers that had committed suicide and what like happened surrounding that.
Right.
And so it was a really good story. I don't want to say anything more to give away what happens. It was a really good film. It had a very interesting ending. I liked the ending, although it's not your norm ending, but I get where it made sense, like for the movie.
And it was how long of a movie would you say it was?
It was just under 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's not very long.
No, and it went by really fast because I was really like into that. So this also I would give 4 wine corks to. It's a good movie. So I would definitely check it out if you can.
Okay.
So.
Awesome. Well, and I did watch Mortal Kombat
Woo!
on HBO Max.
So impressed.
And I am so impressed when I watched that because martial arts films is really not my thing, but I have to say this was good. I thought the storyline, as in a lot of shows, it had a lot to be desired. I thought it was kind of weird. But, of course, the special effects were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
So I think that's what makes shows like this fun. If they don't have a great storyline, they can make up for it with their special effects. And it's definitely something I would say, see it. Like I told my son, I said, you definitely need to see this one. So, and they knew who the people were, so he kind of waltzed in as I was.
So he's played the video game then?
Yeah.
Oh.
And his friend, they knew who the people were.
Well, I would assume they would have to know by playing the video game, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
sure.
okay.
So they knew who they were.
Okay.
And, and they were like, oh, that's such and such, and that's such and such. And I'm like, yep, sure was. Didn't know who that such and such was. But anyway, again, the storyline was kind of meh, but special effects were great. So for me, I'd probably give this 3 wine corks.
Okay.
So, but the action was good, so.
Well, I plan on checking it out myself, so.
Yes, and that would be great to hear what your thoughts are.
Right.
And then I did start Shadow and Bone.
Okay.
And it reminds me of Hunger Games-ish / Carnival Row-ish, like all these different shows.
Oh, there's a show that needs to come back. I just realized Carnival Row.
I know.
Sorry,
I
side note.
loved that show.
Small side note. Okay.
Yes, little side note. Carnival Row. But I'm excited to finish it. I've watched season 1 or episode 1 twice. So I'm not even sure how that happened. But anyway, it does look good. And then the third one that I've watched a lot, which isn't really any kind of a movie or series, is called Very Scary People on HLM with Donnie Wahlberg.
Oh, okay.
He's the one who is narrating this, and of course it goes through pretty much in detail and in depth, some of the most notorious serial killers. We're talking John Wayne Gacy, we're talking the Night Stalker, Manson, all of those guys. And then they go into pretty in depth about it. And some of that, some of it's pretty disturbing, but I feel like what they all seem to have in common is the abuse that they suffered when they were young. Some people have that happen to them kind of violently, not just sexually, but violence. Like their parents were just mean. Like Gacy loved to cook, and his father thought that was for women. Why are you cooking? And so he berated him and was mean to him, and it was just so sad. So, not that we need to have any kind of empathy for these guys, but there's a pattern of how some of these people turn out this way because of what happened to them in their earlier life. Anyway, so if you're into crime series and into, serial killers, that's a really great one. Again, it's on HBO.
I've watched half of the John Wayne Gacy one, and it was interesting. I'm just one that it's like, because I don't like to watch dark stuff like that too much. It's like,
That's all right. You can leave that to me.
Okay, I'll leave it to you.
Okay.
That's good. Now it's time for our new series trailer talk. So, up first we have The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. This is coming out June 4th, and it stars returning stars Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. So for me, when I saw this trailer, and as I just was basically saying, I'm not too into most of these darker things, that actually, made the movie look really good. I was surprised. It actually did draw me in. I was honestly interested. When I have not been interested in any of those movies so far, I can honestly say, but the trailer made me actually want to maybe take a look at it. Maybe. Yes, it did. It was very well done.
It probably just wasn't gory enough for you, because we know you like Saw and some of those gory shows.
That's true, because those aren't scary. It's the creepy ones that I don't like, but
the paranormal.
Yeah, but when you're over the top with the gore, it's not.
Yeah, and see,
to me, because it's not real.
Flicks. I don't know, but I love paranormal.
See,
that.
Right,
so,
exactly.
So when I saw this, I was so excited. Like, I have been waiting since last year, and I cursed 2020 and COVID just because they pushed this back for a year. But yeah, I'm excited to watch this one, and I'm really I follow the Warrens, who were some of the first paranormal psychologists and ghost hunters, and so they're. I mean, they could probably keep going with the Conjuring because of all the different stories and the things the Mormons,
All the different cases, yeah.
had during their during the time that they were doing this. Plus, they used to teach and talk about this stuff at one of the colleges, and I can't remember which one that was, but anyway. So I'm excited for this. I'll be one of the first ones there.
That's true. She probably will be, and I might join, but it's a very slim chance. I'm just saying, the trailer did make it look good, but we'll see. We'll see where we go after that.
Cover your eyes.
Also, we have West Side Story. Now, this is the movie remake that's coming out December 10th. It stars Ansel Elgort and Rachel Zegler, this is her very first movie, TV, anything. She was plucked out of a, over 2,000 person audition from high school to play Maria.
Oh man, that's right. I remember.
So anyway, this is being directed by Steven Spielberg. So this trailer, it's almost like maybe I'm just thinking because I love musicals already. I was like, yep. Everything I saw was like, yep, for it. It looks great. It looks not quite shot for shot, but pretty darn close from the original, from what was in the trailer. Mm-hmm. So yes, I am.
Yeah, that'll be good. I think I'm on that one too.
So
I liked West Side Story. I like the original.
So, and what's weird is that I actually was not the biggest fan of the original, but maybe I need to maybe it's just because by the time I watched it, I was in college at the time. I don't know. Maybe it was just so dated to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it wasn't that it was bad, just that I didn't get as into it as I have with other musicals.
Yeah.
So,
again,
but
it
this
was a long time ago.
Yeah. But this looks like it'll be a good remake of it. So
I agree.
I'm looking forward to it. And then lastly, we have The 355. This is going to be out January 14th of next year with Jessica Chastain, Lupita Nyong'o, Penelope Cruz, and Diane Kruger.
Ooh.
And so this looks very cool. It's like the new Ocean's 8. That's what it reminded me. Or Charlie's Angels.
Right. Only with 4 of them.
Right. And a more serious tone.
Right.
Of them, trying to not fight crime. I guess it's more like espionage. It's a better word. They're trying to fight some espionage.
There you go.
In the political realm. So.
Well, and all these girls, I'm a big fan of. I love Penelope Cruz and Jessica Chastain. Mm-hmm. Also, Lupita Nyong'o. I think she's amazing.
Yep, love her.
And
Diane.
Oh yeah, Diane Kruger. Mm-hmm. So remind me what else she was in.
So Diane Kruger, she was. I first saw her in Troy years ago.
Right.
Remember she was playing Helen of Troy?
Yep. Yes. She's beautiful.
Yeah, and she was in. What was that most recent thing she was in? I can't. She was playing a detective. Oh, it was that one with Chadwick Boseman. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a really good. It was a really good detective show she was playing his partner. Anyway.
Oh, and it was just a recent one.
Yeah, it came out 2 years ago with him because it was right after Black Panther, a couple months after Black Panther was released.
She was also in National Treasure.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh, I love those movies. I totally forgot that was her in there.
Yeah, and Inglourious Bastards. That was a funny show, by the way.
That is still a movie I've never seen all the way through. I've only seen parts when it has aired on TBS, right? So I've never seen the unedited version, obviously.
It's funny. I think you would like it. You would get a kick out of it.
I'll have to. I just realized that wasn't her in the Chadwick. That was.
Yeah,
I'm
not seeing that.
I was gonna say that was.
She was in Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah, National Treasure, Unknown.
Oh, okay.
Liam Neeson.
Okay. Yep, saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's done a ton.
Yeah, she's got quite a list. So, anyway.
But yeah,
this looks like a fun one.
Yes,
that could be. I don't know, HBO Max and movie theater possibly. Do you know if all these?
No, they're all supposed to be in theaters. So I mean, obviously, since the 355 isn't out till January, that could obviously change by then. Yeah. But I'd like to think by next year for sure. They're probably not going to worry about too much trying to put things on. Although I don't know how long term the deal is supposed to be with the whole HBO Max and theater thing.
All right.
So that that. Obviously, too, since we saw or we talked about the fact that they're going to start putting things as well on Netflix after it's only been in theaters
Right.
for on some sort. So I guess never mind. Forget what I just said. It's the thing of the future. We're just going to continue onward, partially having things at home and having things in the theaters. But as of right now, they're all supposed to only be in theaters. So
Okay. I wouldn't mind watching The Conjuring at home. However, they're so good that it's great to be in the theater because it's a bit scarier when you're.
oh,
in
I'm
the
sure
theater
in this
sometimes.
big theater, and things are really loud when they happen.
No, and exactly, and
Scaring
like the nun
you.
is much bigger on
Right.
screen, and she's freaking creepy.
Yeah.
Which is really a demon. It's not a real nun.
Nun.
Just
Oh,
in case you were wondering.
okay.
Mhm.
I actually was wondering that. Thanks for clarifying.
It's a
Thanks so
demon.
much.
It's
a
really
demon.
funny though. The woman who plays the nun,
Mm-hmm.
she's got that big nose, which the nun does have,
Mhm.
and which is the demon's name is Valak. Just FYI, and she looks like I'm looking at her going, oh, creepy. I can see why they did you.
You like the
but she
resemblance
does a
needed.
great job. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So anyway, I guess we'll check more into that. And
Yeah, as
see.
they come up, and we'll definitely be on lookout to keep watching these in theaters because we're all about the theaters. I will just say I did go to the theater on Friday just to do a throwback movie, which was The Fast and the Furious, since they're doing some free screenings leading up to the new one, and it was cool. So number one, see it in the theater again. It's been so long, and it was just so cute to see all the actors when they were just so young. That, it was back in 2001. Like, good Lord.
Oh wow.
How long it's been going on. Yeah, and just to see the concept. I'd forgotten that the concept originally was that they were thieves of things on trucks, and then nowadays it's all about stopping this person or that person from doing something they
Yeah.
shouldn't be doing. So it's
And
interesting.
stealing cars.
It's interesting the evolution from where it started to where
Well,
it is
there's
now.
so many of them.
Right?
You
I guess,
know?
yeah, they had to go somewhere. They had to
Yeah.
go somewhere with it. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, just a side note on theaters. But all right, so till next week with a new set of trailers.
All right. Well, before we sign off, we do need to catch up on the Oscars. And Rhonda, how many times were you right? I mean, how many did you get right?
2. A
Two?
whole 2. Woohoo!
Ooh. Oh, darn. Shoot. Well, I only got 5 right. I'm
Like,
just going to say
what?
5. So, yeah. Isn't that interesting?
It is interesting. You're a good predictor on that.
Yeah, I try to do that every time the Oscars come around. Anyway, well, that's all the time we have for this week. Thanks so much for listening. We had fun as usual, and we hope you enjoyed it as well. Please give us a review or a comment, as it really does help us out. And please follow us on Instagram at movies_munchies_moscato. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging.
Thank you, guys.